Hello everyone, and welcome to a slightly tape-delayed version of Formula Racing League Season 3, coming to you from Portimao, Portugal. This is Chaos coming to you with the cast, and as of qualifying, Camborne is on pole position with a 125.232. He's followed in second place by Rafa, Prestige, Dubman himself, Raro, and Red Baron, the Williams teammates, together ahead of Kenny LaFleur, Taylor Funk, Balzac, J.L. Patel, Nameless Nate, Fiji Dumo, Brother John, T. Goldie, 44, and Get Dunked. So I wasn't able to catch this race live as I was busy stuffing myself full of Thanksgiving turkey. But now that I am sitting here nice and full and sleepy, I'm here to bring you the cast of this race. I left it automatically observing, so we'll see what we catch. 5 lights, and they're off. Camborne has a solid start. And Rafa slipping a little bit here. Prestige up ahead. Dubman himself running in second place. And Cam has gotten away nice and cleanly. We've got a little bit of battle through wide, and that's Rafa. Rafa off the side of the track. Cam is ahead, followed by Dubman, and out of the chaos of that corner, Fiji Dummo has found himself all the way up in third place, followed by Prestige and Kenny LaFleur. So after the first few corners, it's Cam, Dubman, Fiji, Prestige, Kenny, Raro, Balzac, Red Baron, T. Goldie, Taylor Funk, Joe Patel, Get Dunk, Brother John, Nameless Nate, and RFX Rafa, as immediately Cam and Dubman are building a little bit of a gap to Fiji, who is following behind in third after that big disruption, but Cam absolutely off to a powerful start here. So we've got a tight little race forming in the positions behind. We can see that Kenny LaFleur is fighting, just getting past Raro here, but he picks up a time penalty in doing so. Again, as this is pre-recorded, I don't really have any control over what exactly we're going to be looking at, so there will be a lot of casting from position here, but also just discussing how things are going in this race. Right now, the big loser from the start is Rafa, who was doing well. He was qualified on second, but he's way down at the back here, just getting past Nameless Nate at this moment. So you come to Fiji, who is leading the rest of the pack here, and he's got Prestige right on his tail. The Alfa Romeo, very aggressive here, but he's not able to make a move. Fiji continues to hold third place. There's also a little bit of a line forming behind Kenny LaFleur, although we all know that Kenny is very quick. He'll be able to pull back into your suit. Oh, a little bit of aggression here from Prestige as he goes side by side alongside Fiji Domo. But as they come along this race, Fiji is giving him just enough room, and ultimately is not able to make the pass. Oh, but Fiji takes a bit of an odd line here. Is he going to be able to continue defending? He's side by side. Oh, continuing this big battle here, and that is Prestige able to make his way through on Fiji Domo. But he's a little bit wide. Or, no, that's Dubman. That's Dubman. Oh, the Ferrari has slipped, and he has gone from second all the way to the back of this group, all the way down from second to 13th position as Dubman himself. As a little incident, this is a tricky circuit. Lots of high-speed corners, lots of blind corners. It's just it's a very fascinating track. So Fiji chasing Prestige here. Kenny is behind him, and they're all within a second in this leading group of 6. Outside, of course, of Cam, who is just charging ahead. He's already 4.3 seconds ahead of Prestige. Oh, that's a slow and wide there for J.L. Patel, I think. Fiji continues to follow closely behind Prestige here. Looking further back, we can see that Balzac is right on the tail of Raro, and we're just at the head of a big, long chain of cars here. We're 3 laps in, but we are still not getting very much spread at all. A little wide from the Red Bull there. And that's the yellow in Sector 1, as that is Red Baron, who loses a weird spot to lose it right in the middle of the straight. I wonder if he had him off of the corner, but he's up and moving again. Yellow flags in sectors 1 and 2, but they are cleared out of the way. Meanwhile, we've got Taylor Funk and Nameless Nate, both at the back of the track right now, looking to catch up. There may perhaps be a safety car. Again, Cam, look at the pace here. Hang on a moment. I was so busy looking at what else was happening, I did not see what happened there. Yeah, oh, and we've lost Red Baron again. Bad few moments for the Baron. But Fiji finds himself up in second place, chased by Raro, Balzac, and Kenny. I'm sure there's going to be a moment where there was just a crash that happened right in front of me on screen, and I was somehow looking away as it happened, in spite of the fact that I can only look at one thing right now. Impressive. So Raro is chasing down Fiji. He wants this second place. He wants to be able to start making the charge, and you can really see that there's a bit of a train forming behind Fujidomo's Williams right now. And I think I actually referred to Red Baron and Raro as being Williams teammates. They are, of course, Aston Martin teammates as of this season. So tight group here. The first gap that you're going to find behind this is all the way back at T Goldie. As we're getting some battling back and forth between these drivers, as everyone catches up, they're going to have to start worrying more about some of the offense and defense between the cars chasing them, rather than just worrying about getting past Fiji. And that is another moment there. That's a Ferrari off on the side there, and that is Dubman, who once again finds himself losing it at that corner, and that's a frustrating situation to find yourself in. Red Baron also having a tricky race. So Fiji remains the cork in the bottle. Cam has pulled his gap out to 5.7 seconds, and he has a powerful lead here. Clearly, he's got a lot of pace and a lot of skill at Portimao here. Nameless Nate also having spun out, and he is dropped behind Red Baron there. And here we are, 5 laps in. We're getting a little bit of aggression as Raro's right behind, but now Balzac up on the inside of Raro, looking to see if he can make a move here. The aggression continues as these medium tire cars are just trying to chase down Fiji. Keep in mind, the qualifying happened in rainy conditions, so everyone had free choice of tires at the start. So Fiji is, of course, going to have this advantage, but it is going to start evaporating as his tires wear out. Look at this. It's a crowd. 5 cars, all in one shot here. And close battle. You can see Brother John has fallen off this fight a little bit, but these 5 are really fighting, and Fiji is doing everything that he can to hold them off. Oh, there's some aggression, and Balzac is up on the inside of Raro. Raro back around Balzac, and he retakes the position. The 2 dueling Red Bulls of Kenny Lafleur and Jail Patel also just jostling for position here, but no one, not one of them, is able to get past Fiji, who is having a great start to this race. Cam has now pulled out to 7.5 seconds, and he's only going to be taking advantage as Fiji is going to be having to take defensive lines, having to fight, having to slow himself down. He's almost a full straight ahead. There we go, look at that. Fiji weaving inside, weaving outside, seeing if he can do anything, but here he go. Raro on the outside. Can he outbrake? Oh, they're coming. They're swarming all over him, and suddenly 2 positions lost in one straight as Raro and Balzac are through on Fiji. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 1, but it looks like everyone is okay. Cam leads, followed by Raro, Balzac. Fujidomo is now leading Kenny Lafleur. Jail Patel has fallen off just a little bit, but he'll be back. Oh, and Fiji making a little bit of a move there, but Balzac is blocking the way. Can't pass directly through a car after all. Meanwhile, Rafa has been steadily fighting his way back, and he's actually getting into the back of this group now. He's just made his way past Brother John, and after that spin early on, Rafa is going to be looking to avenge what apparently was a little bit of a desync moment at the beginning, or just a bit of bad luck. He was, after all, qualified second, so we would expect him to be one of the podium battlers in this race. Fiji, however, remaining right in the middle of this fight. He does have these tires that will be giving him a lot of pace at this moment, but he's got now Jail Patel right in behind him. He's behind Kenny. And here we go. Big crowd making his way through. And he holds ground for the time being. Oh, here we go. Jay's making a move. Oh, was there a little bit of contact there? I'm not certain, but it looks like they're both through cleanly. Fiji continues to defend, but the DRS is open for Jay. He's going to continue following for the moment. Next opportunity is not going to be for a while, because now it's all short straights and weird, blind, up and down, twisting corners through the second sector of Portimao. Raro is pulling in Camborne just a little bit. He's got him back down to 6.8 seconds in the lead, with Balzac running P3. Kenny LaFleur, meanwhile, right behind Balzac, and Fiji slipping behind Kenny, but he is more focused on the car behind because Jail Patel is all over the back of this Williams. And to say nothing of RFX Rafa and Brother John, who are also just getting pulled into this. At 7 laps, those softs are going to be starting to lose a little bit of their life. And Fiji is just going to want to say, okay, you know, what's my strategy? Am I going to get off of these? He's got some more life in him, but you can see a small gap forming to the vehicles ahead. Jay taking a look to that side while Kenny LaFleur picks up a 3-second time penalty, probably being a little bit aggressive with these corners as he is reeling in Balzac and Raro ahead. Look at that. Now, this is going to be momentary relief for Fiji because now Jay is going to have to be looking in his mirrors. He's going to have to be worrying about Rafa. Or perhaps thinking, you know what, maybe Rafa... Oh no! Oh no, Fiji Dumbo! He loses control, but he's able to hold it! What a drift! He just slides through the corner. That was a bit of a moment there, but, well, that sort of resolves that. And out of that chaos, Brother John actually emerges ahead, but now Jail Patel pushes up the inside of Brother John. And Rafa is through as well, and now it is Jay, Brojo, Rafa, 5, 6, 7, pursued still by Fiji Domo, who is going to be looking to get back, but was that a moment of just traction loss on the tires there? I'm very impressed that he was able to hold that. It wasn't even really a spin, it was a power slide. T. Goldie is the vehicle following, and then we've got Get Dunked, who was in second place early on this race, but then had a couple of spins and is in a recovery mode. Prestige, Dubman, Taylor Funk, Red Baron, and Nameless Nate. We've got some changes of position up ahead. We've got Kenny LaFleur and we've got Rafa making their way through on the 2 McLarens of Balzac and Brother John, respectively. And I can see some side-by-siding here. This is Kenny and Balzac very, very close to each other. And here we go, yes. Why don't we take a look at Balzac here as Kenny has just made his way through. And now Balzac is going to see, well, you know what? I can outlast you. I'm on the mediums, you are on the softs. You don't have that much long, Kenny, before you need to get off of these tires. Yellow flag in Sector 1, I think that is... let's see, that's Dubman. Dubman again. Frustrating moment. There's so many corners where, when you're pushing, you can really lose it here at Portimao. I still haven't figured out this circuit. And I imagine that's true for many of us here. So Cam continues to lead by 7.5 seconds ahead of Raro and Kenny. They're all outside of DRS range, but Balzac is staying within range of Kenny, so he's possibly going to be able to get himself dragged up into the back of this podium fight. A little ways behind, it's Jail Patel who is continuing to lead RFX Rafa and Brother John. Fiji is dropping off just a little bit from there. As we start the 10th lap here, oh no, that is Dubman himself who is out of the race. That's our first DNF, and a virtual safety car is called. Well, and it's a full safety car to recover the vehicle of Dubman himself. And now, well, this is good for the soft runners because they were just going to want to be getting off of these right about now. So Cam leads Raro, Kenny, Balzac, Jail, Rafa, Brother John, Fiji, Goldie, Get Dunked, Prestige, Taylor Funk, Red Baron, and Nameless Nate, the 14 cars remaining in this race. Red Baron making his way through the pits. As indeed is Nameless Nate. Oh no! Oh, and this is that disastrous moment. Raro speeding under the safety car, and that's a drive-through penalty. It had been such a good race, and this... Oh, you hate to see it. But Raro, in P2, finds himself with a drive-through penalty that he, if I'm not mistaken, won't be able to serve until the safety car has come back in, and that's just going to toss him all the way down from the very front of the grid down to the back. Here we go, as the drivers pull... And a 5-second penalty for speeding in the... That's just... Sometimes you just... something bad happens and you kind of tilt into it. He just needs to reset. You know what? The race begins now. And looks like Jay also manages to pick up a warning under the safety car here. Balzac making his pit stop. And he's going to be coming up just behind Kenny. So here we go. Raro leads Kenny and Balzac, Fiji, T. Goldie, and Prestige out of the pits. But who hasn't pitted? Cam, Jay, Rafa, and Brother John. Get Dunked as well. I believe he pitted a little bit earlier. At any rate, this very spread out race is going to get completely neutralized now. As we are here 11 laps in. Lovely camera angle, that one. So it looks like the safety car has caught our leaders. We've got everyone back to Brother John, collected by the safety car. And this is going to get Nameless Nate, who was almost lapped, all the way back onto the lead. But it's going to take a while for that Alfa Romeo to be able to get its way back to where everyone else is. So thus far, Cam has been able to build himself a very nice lead. But this safety car is not great for him. He had built up a lot of... Nameless Nate retires... Oh, well. Retires under the safety car. I wonder if that's going to extend things or if he... Well, I can't see him on the track unless that's his car traveling around behind Red Baron some distance. Either way, everyone is now focused on just saving a bit of fuel, keeping those tires hot. And Nameless Nate's car is cleared. Alright, we've now collected all the way back to Taylor Funk. J.L. Patel doing his pit stop, and that's a bit frustrating doing your pit stop at a time like this. It just puts you right at the back after you've been following the safety car. Red Baron, still 30 seconds behind. There might be, in fact, one more safety car lap before we're done. And there we have it. Cam, Rafa, Brother John, but a bunch of these cars up at the front. Keep in mind, they find themselves up in the front because they haven't pitted yet. So that's going to create a little bit of asymmetry. If it wasn't for the fact that Raro had a drive-through penalty right now, he'd be in very nice shape, but that's just going to throw him right back with Jay. Alright, Red Baron's got himself to 14 seconds off of the back of the trail here. I wonder if he's going to be able to catch up in time. He should just be coming into the camera shot about now. There he is. I love some of these long-angle camera shots that they have at Portimao. Well, he's onto the back, and safety car is in this lap. Excellent. We don't need another lap under the safety car here. We want to see racing, and it's Cam leading Rafa, Brojo, Get Dunked, Raro, Kenny LaFleur, Balzac, Fiji Domo, T. Goldie, 44 Taylor Funk, Prestige, J.O. Patel, and Nameless Nate. We have and Red Bear. We have lost Nameless Nate and Dubman himself. Alright, here we are. And our restart. There we go. Things are tight, but it looks like everyone's holding their positions thus far. A little bit of weaving, a little bit of peeking. And Raro, it seems, is through and Get Dunked. Now, if I were in Raro's position, I would delay serving this drive-thru as long as I possibly could get away with, but I, of course, don't want to get disqualified, and I'm not 100% sure on how exactly the rules work. Oh, a couple of positions changing there as Kenny makes his way through. But yeah, you don't want to risk the disqualification, and when you have laps under safety car, I feel like the rule's 3 laps after the safety car returns in. So, a little bit of a group. Once again, Fiji is that Fiji? Yes. Fiji is forming a little bit of a cork, and so is Raro, as he's got a couple of fast drivers right behind. So you can see, looking at the strategies here, Cam, Rafa, and Brother John all on mediums that have been going since the very start of this race. Get Dunked having a little bit of a battle back here as he duels the Baron. And Kenny is through up on the inside of Brother John. And yeah, this is the situation. Brother John is going to be up against a bunch of very fast people. Rafa and Camborne also find themselves in this situation as Taylor Funk picks up a time penalty for a little bit of exceeding track limits. Get Dunked and T Goldie in the pits. I wonder if they had a little bit of an incident there. I can only imagine that there was some damage taken, since otherwise they would have pitted before during the safety car. But that's a frustrating situation to find oneself in. So as we're deep in the middle of this race, Kenny finds himself in a very nice position since Raro ahead of him is going to have to serve a drive-through penalty. That's just, you know, it's painful, but it must be done. You can't speed under the virtual safety car. Or the full safety car, as it were. So Kenny finds himself the leader of the group who's already pitted. And that's ultimately going to give him a bit of an advantage over Cam and Rafa, unless they think they can drag this out a little bit longer. And Cam is once again putting a bit of a gap. Oh, and here we go. That's Raro serving his drive-through penalty, and that promotes Kenny LaFleur up to 3rd. Let's see where Raro is going to come out. It looks like he's going to put him right behind Red Baron in 11th place. Well, there's still a full half of a race to recover from that. So Kenny and Fiji, two of the drivers to watch right now. And we can see, let's see, is that Fiji making a move on Brother John just behind? Yes, it is. And yeah, Brother John just gradually sliding backwards through the ranks, as one would expect, since he is on these 14-lap-old medium tires. A little bit of a battle right at the very back of the grid as well, as Get Dunked and T Goldie are having a little bit of a duel amongst themselves. Oh, that's yellow flags, and that is Taylor Funk who has spun off. And that's probably going to drop him right into Red Baron's clutches. Meanwhile, Kenny not really putting a dent into Rafa right now. This is a new track for all of us, so there's going to be a lot of interesting little shakeups, you know? Some drivers who are very experienced, who maybe don't know this track so well, are going to be at a comparative disadvantage to someone who might have really put in the hours to get to learn Portimao. So there's a consistent 1.5 odd second gap back to Kenny. Meanwhile, there's a larger gap back to Fiji Domo, who finds himself in 4th position, looking pretty good here, as he is also, as we said, through on Brother John. Get Dunked has gotten through on T Goldie because T Goldie has lost it in Sector 3. Ooh, a little bit of a moment there for Kenny LaFleur. And Joe Patel's through on Brother John. You can see that Taylor Funk is in the pits right now, and that's going to drop him up behind T Goldie as he probably took some damage there. And Raro picks up a 3-second time penalty for the multiple warnings. So Raro currently a little ways behind Red Baron here. A safety car at this moment would be very, very interesting, as that would be a bit of a get-out-of-jail-free card for these guys stuck on their mediums. Although the grid is starting to spread out a little bit now, so it's not looking quite so bad. You know, you're not going to lose too much from pitting right now. Plus, no one who went onto the softs is going to be able to take them all the way to the end. So there's still a lot of strategy left to play out here in this race. As we hit the 17th lap of 33, we're now more than halfway through this race. Kenny is just steadily extending his gap to Fiji behind, as he is now right into the back of Rafa, and now with DRS he might be able to bring a bit of offense here. Joe Patel is through on Fiji Domo, And now we have the Red Bulls running 3rd and 4th. Lovely little battle, man. I almost wish I'd just left it on Fiji the whole time, since he seems to always be the center of some action one way or the other. But he's been having a very nice race here. Other than that one slide, it's been clean, it's been spinless, and that's exactly the sort of thing he's been looking for. I would say I'm commentators cursing you right now, Fiji, but you see, this has already happened. But speaking of curses, I think I just gave a bit of a bad juju for Brother John there, who finds himself dropped down to 9th place as he spins out in Sector 3. A little bit of aggression here as Kenny Lafleur going up on the inside of RFX Rafa, and he is through with a DRS pass. And Rafa is on aging medium tires. Kenny still has a couple of laps of life in his. But he has picked up some penalties, and those could be important. Raro, meanwhile, picking up the fastest lap right now. Oh, you can just feel the frustration that he was running so high, and he's got so much pace right now. But, you know, a couple of mistakes can really be costly. So looking at the battles right now, we've got Rafa still right behind Kenny Lafleur, and in fact, close enough to still be picking up DRS. Prestige is chasing down Fiji, who's just fallen away from JL Patel. But beyond that, the whole grid is starting to spread out just a little bit. So now we're going to want to be looking at when exactly are the next round of pit stops going to be happening. So Kenny's up to P2, and again, finds himself in an advantageous position, but his tires are going to wear out soon as well, so he's actually on net, pretty much in a direct fight with Camborne and Rafa. And Jay has been running strongly all race, and here we go, Kenny with a 119.8 as he snatches away the fastest lap. And now he is just reeling in Camborne, who is on these old mediums, going to try and make a very conservative, long-running tire strategy work. I suppose it's a bit odd saying aggressive or conservative strategies, because really you could call an extremely long run a particularly aggressive strategy, and that you really have to make some effort to make that work. Further back, we've got Prestige right on the back of Fiji. They're going very close to each other through the hairpin. But Prestige is going to have to back off a little bit, and Fiji holds position. Kenny steadily chipping in, but you can see Rafa isn't falling away from him, so he's actually just using Kenny to rappel his way up towards Camborne, who has been dominating this race. The duel between Fiji Domo and Prestige continues. And meanwhile, we've got two duels of McLarens and Aston Martins. We've got Balzac leading Red Baron, and then we've got Raro leading Brother John. Brother John did lose a bit of track position with that spin, but he's still in the running here. Kenny might be finding himself in a little bit of trouble in a moment, because we've got Rafa who's falling very close behind as Prestige finally makes his way through after several laps of dueling on Fiji Domo. They're equal on tires here. Kenny picking up a couple more time penalties. He's pretty liberal with the track limits right now. So, summarizing the conditions of the race right now, there are 13 racers left. It's Cam, Kenny, Rafa, JL Patel. Fiji has just made his way back through on Prestige as the battle goes on. Prestige takes it back. Balzac in 7th, followed by Red Baron and Raro. Brother John, Get Dunked, who's just picked up a time penalty. T. Goldie, and Taylor Funk. The one big gap in the race is between Brother John in 10th and Get Dunked, who is half a minute back right now. And so far, chapeau to the clean drivers who don't have any time penalties at the moment. That's Camborne, Rafa, Prestige, Fiji, Balzac, and Red Baron. So this battle between Prestige and Fiji is just giving JL Patel a lot of breathing room. And Jay could be on for a very, very nice result as Rafa makes his way into pit lane. As we see him on the side there. So Rafa has at last said, okay, time for me to do 12 more laps. He's going to put on softs and take him to the end. Seems like a solid strategy to me. And now Kenny LaFleur is just chasing down Cam with a comfortable 5.6 second gap. And Rafa comes out right behind Brother John. Or rather, several seconds behind Brother John. So at the moment, no one is near to anyone except for Red Baron and Balzac, who are in a battle for 6th place, and they're on hard tires, so keep in mind, these two are going to be running until the end. There's no more pit stops for them. But Kenny, Jay, Prestige, Fiji, those are names in the top 5 who are all going to need to get off of these tires. To say nothing, of course, of Camborne, who is on 20-lap old mediums. And Cam doesn't really have to worry about the undercut here, but you might want to be conscious of the fact that Rafa has pitted, and if he waits too long, we might find Rafa in the lead. And there he goes, Camborne into the pits, Kenny LaFleur into the pits. They're both through, they've got the pit limiters on, and here we go as J.O. Patel is about to take the lead of the race. And now, for the first time, Jay is leading this Portuguese Grand Prix. We can see additionally, Prestige is into the pits. And where are they going to come out? It looks like they're going to be right around Rafa. In fact, let's see, we have Cam, who has come out just a short ways behind Brother John. And Kenny is just narrowly leading Rafa. Also, Kenny often seems to do this, goes for mediums rather than softs, so he's really going to want to be able to lean on this. I wonder if Kenny finds that he's a little hard on his tires, maybe drives them pretty aggressively. Let's see how this turns out for him, because right now he's got Rafa right on his tail, and Rafa is going to have more pace sooner, faster. Oh no! And that is a moment Red Baron has lost it. And this is going to drop him behind this whole train as he slowly comes back up to speed. And Red Baron falls from 4th to 9th. Or thereabouts. So, J.O. Patel leading the race right now with 11 laps to go, but keep in mind, this man has a pit stop he has yet to do. Camborne, meanwhile, is right on the back of Brother John, and Brother John is now the last guy on those really old tires. He, of course, hasn't been quite on them since the start, and Fiji is into the pits. Fiji Dumbo into the pits. Also, that is Brother John into the pits, so that is the last of the long runners. And now we're just looking at Raro, who's definitely going to need to make one more pit stop, who's currently in 3rd, but he's going to lose a bit of that. As Fiji and Brother John come out behind Prestige. So all of these are final pit stops that we're seeing. The only pit stops we should expect now are from Jay and Robert. Jay, of course, leading, Robert currently P3. But that's P3 and 14 seconds back. Camborne now is the leader, effectively, since he's going... Well, actually, I shouldn't say that yet, because he does have to get past Balzac, who is running these hards to the end. Jay's into the pits, and so is Raro. And there we have it, Camborne takes fastest lap, and takes several positions as he pushes his way up into 2nd, and now, this is a battle between Camborne and Rafa, and perhaps Kenny LaFleur, if Kenny is able to pull himself into this. He will have the most relative pace at the end, but he's got to make these mediums work for him. Balzac leads by 4.6 seconds, but just look at that gap. 4.6, 4.5. It is steadily going down. 4.4, 4.3. Raro emerges up from the pits just behind Brother John, as we can see T. Goldie also getting off of his softs. So Balzac leads the race, but his lead is just evaporating by perhaps 2 seconds a lap as Cam is charging down on the McLaren. And I don't think there's going to be any real challenge that Balzac is going to be able to put up. So right now, Cam doesn't need to be worried about the slow-running car ahead. He needs to be worried about Rafa. He needs to be worried about Kenny LaFleur. Red Baron, meanwhile, running P5 right now. He's going to need to be worried about J.L. Patel, who is right behind him on brand spanking new mediums. We're getting purple sectors here as we have a Ferrari off, and that is get dunked. Well, I suppose today from that we learned that you just cannot dunk the funk. Camborne now to 2.2 seconds of Balzac, and he is pulling a little bit of a lead ahead of Rafa as well. And there we have it. You can see the gap just growing smaller and smaller as he closes to within 2 seconds of Balzac now. You can just see during these corners he's able to take so much more speed. It's 1.8 as Cam is chasing down Balzac. He's going to have him comfortably very soon. In fact, this might be Balzac's last lap where he doesn't need to worry about a DRS pass. So looking at the paces, we can see that Cam is putting a bit of a lead on Rafa. So even at this late point in the race, we've still got a bit more speed. As we can see, a bit of a battle. Prestige is making a move on Red Baron further back. Red Baron has the inside line, and he's holding it. A little bit of a switchback, and Prestige with a nice switchback that I saw on the map, but sadly could not show on the big screen, is through on Red Baron. Check out the clip, he's already posted it. And now Red Baron is... oh, but he's through on Prestige! Oh, well, the reversal. Clearly he had a little bit of power that he could use, but right now, Cam is on Balzac. I'm not even sure if this is Jaws music playing, but we've got battles going on in a few places here. Further back, we can see once again Prestige makes his way through on Red Baron, and they duel through the corner. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Balzac loses it! And T. Goldie's out of the session. Oh dear, Balzac straight down to 4th. And now he might even be under threat from J.L. Patel after that. Meanwhile, oh dear, Red Baron has lost it after his long battle with Prestige. Red Baron also. He's had that moment right at the transition from Sector 1 to Sector 2. He's been off the track several times there, and it's been very, very costly for his race as he drops behind Fiji Domo, who is charging on fresh mediums. There's not much you can do with 15-lap-old hards at that point. Those are just tires for giving you a nice, advantageous pit strategy. They are not tires to do battle with head-to-head. They're the tires you want to have so that you can be 20 seconds ahead of someone, not so that you can fight them on the track. So at this point, Camborne is leading the race. Oh, and further back we can see Brother John and Raro have both made their way through on Red Baron. And now actually we're going to have a little bit of fight here as Raro getting through on Brother John up the inside, and he is now sandwiched by the 2 Astons Martin. Yeah, that's how you pluralize it. Don't at me. Or do. I don't think people at me very often. So, Brother John here. Right now, the meat and the little sandwich. And he's just going to be looking to see if he can, well, get some sort of activity going on here. He is, of course, ahead of Red Baron on the 16-lap-old hards, so he's not under much threat of losing position. But he could potentially engage in a little bit of a duel with Raro here. They're coming up in the back of Fiji. And Raro is right on the back of Fiji. Fiji does like that little bit of an early weave to break the toe, but he does it so early, it's very quick for everyone else to follow in. And up the inside goes Raro as Raro takes 7th from Fiji. And now, Brother John also around the Williams, and he takes position as well, but he goes wide! And that allows Fiji Domo to take 8th place back just a second after he lost it. Further ahead, we can see that Prestige is right onto the back of Jayul Patel, and it looks like Balzac might be able to hold off Jay as we have 5 laps left here. Meanwhile, Rafa is continuing to pursue, and keep in mind Camborne has a time penalty. Taylor Funk making his way through the pits and coming out just ahead of T. Goldie as their own little duel continues. So Brother John continuing to pursue Fiji Domo here, as Prestige makes his way through on Jayul Patel to take 5 positions. 5th place. T. Goldie rejoins. Oh, it seems that he was disconnected for a moment. That is what happened. Regardless, we've got a little bit of a battle right behind Balzac as Prestige and Jay are in a bit of a duel. And here we go. Brother John has taken it from Fiji Domo. And now I don't see him giving up this position again. However, has this given a big advantage to Raro, who's been able to build up a several second gap ahead of Brother John in the midst of that duel. We know that Raro's pace has been good today. So with 4 laps to go, Camborne has a narrow lead over Rafa. Following them is Kenny. Balzac, who is leading until he spun out, is running late on the hard tires, and Balzac is just desperately fending off Prestige and Jayul Patel. Between them is Raro, and then that brings us to Brother John, who we're on board with right now, as Kenny LaFleur picks up yet another time penalty. He's just got to catch them all, apparently. Fiji Domo is slipping steadily behind Brother John. He is, after all, on mediums, and Prestige is through on Balzac. Well, he did what he could, but there's not much you can do on 18-lap-old hards versus 7-lap-old softs, with 3 laps left in the race. Red Baron is holding on to the last point-scoring position, and then he is pursued with a significant gap back to Get Dunked, Taylor Funk, and T. Goldie, the 3 of whom could all reasonably change positions, but they're all 1 point out of the points. Well, 1 position out of the points, I should say. So we're back with Balzac, as he is in the middle of this fight, right between Prestige and Jay. Really, now it's all about how much can I save this race. And keep in mind, Jayul Patel does have a time penalty, so Balzac could potentially get past. And we know that Jay is also conscious of that as well. If he gets through, he's really going to want to be able to build a bit of a gap. But he's also quite considerate. He doesn't want to potentially ruin the race. So if there is a pass, it's going to be clean. Kenny, another time penalty. Well, you can't ever accuse him of not pushing the track to its absolute limits, but he is going to get tossed down the points. He's currently running P3, but where is he going to end up? Hopefully that gap he has back to Prestige and the others is going to work out, but I could easily see him dropping down to 6th off of this. So Balzac has lost DRS on Prestige and leads Jayul Patel. Jay is just all over the back of Balzac, and this really is the place to be. The only other big fight going on right now is between Get Dunked and Taylor Funk. So a bit of a moment there, and Balzac is able to build a small gap up to Jay again. As we watch the battle for 11th, racing in there, you can really see Taylor Funk closing in on the GPS, but then Get Dunked is able to hold it. But Taylor Funk, with these faster tires, I really don't know if the Ferrari is going to be able to hold on much longer. He's right there. He's equal, and Taylor Funk is through. Well, I said you couldn't dunk the funk, but maybe you can funk the dunk. And I'm just going to keep on rhyming things because it makes me smile. Up in 5th place, Balzac continues to fend off a charging Jayol Patel. And this is going to be the question is can Jay make a move? And he's running out of time. Jay needs to clear enough of a gap to make this penalty go away. And at this point, maybe the move is just, hey, you know what? I've got 11 seconds back to Raro. I'm not going to lose that. We have got a Mercedes off. And there is only one Mercedes in this race, and that is RFX Rafa. He was charging for it, he was pushing for it, but in the end, it costs him 2nd place on track, but that means nothing because Kenny is the penalty collector today, so he is just going to get cast directly into the Shadow Realm at the end of this race. So Balzac continuing to hold off Jayol Patel, and right now the shine is starting to come off of those mediums. It's not going to be the advantage he needs anymore, as we are now getting this onto the final lap of the race. Camborne has a comfortable lead over Kenny Lafleur. As Balzac is trying to hold on to 5th place, which might become 4th place with all the penalties that Kenny Lafleur has been accumulating. Further back, we can see that Get Dunked is holding off T. Goldie. T. Goldie, he's through. And Get Dunked, who is making the long run on the hards, couldn't quite hold them off. But he is, at the very least, going to finish this one on the lead lap. Here we go. Balzac continuing to fight off Jayol Patel. And this is it. Final lap of the race. As we go on board with Camborne, we haven't seen much of him, but he has dominated in Portimao, and Cam takes his first victory. Congratulations, Camborne. Following behind 10 seconds back is Kenny Lafleur. But how far back? Oh, 16. I think that is 16 seconds of penalties. And that drops him behind Rafa. It drops him behind Prestige. Here comes Balzac. And right at the line. Balzac leads Jayol Patel. Kenny is thrown back to 6th. Raro is going to make his way through. And then Brother John in 8th position. Fiji Domo ends up, let's see, is he showing in 9th right now? I could have sworn I saw him in 8th a moment ago. But with the penalties, Red Baron is able to seize 9th position ahead of Fiji. And now here we go. It's the final 3. It's Taylor Funk, it's Get Dunked, and it's T. Goldie making their way around. Well, you know what? Style points. Oh, wait, hang on. That wasn't Get Dunked. That was T. Goldie. Oh, dear. He'd made his way through up to 12th, but in the end, well, he's not able to hold it, and he is going to be finishing 13th unless the penalties have something to say about it. Taylor Funk is through, Get Dunked crosses the line, and now we have T. Goldie just ahead of Camborne, who is finishing his victory lap here at Portimao. And this race, ladies and gentlemen, racers all, is finished. Congratulations, everyone! And that's Portimao. Driver of the day, Jayol Patel, 1, 2, 3. And there you have it. Cam taking his trophy. And it's a fine result. Rafa, again, making a good charge, and with Flex absent from this race, we've got some interesting situations to look at. So there we have it. Cam, Rafa, Prestige, Balzac, Jayol Patel. Kenny LaFleur Raro, Brother John Red Baron, Fiji Dummo, Taylor Funk, Get Dunked, T Goldie, and Nameless Nate and Dubman himself were unable to finish the race. Thank you very much for tuning in. This has been FRL.